you look around the league, there's a lot of teams, in the hunt. We're in the hunt. You sit here and you say, hey, Thanksgiving, and close to the end of November, and we're in the hunt. When you sit around that table tomorrow, you're saying we're in the hunt. And there's a lot of teams that wish they were in the hunt. Well, we're in the hunt.
I used to play floor hockey 3 or 4 nights a week, and at this point, my body can't physically do that. I used to watch 3 to 4 playoff games a year, and at this point, my body or mind cannot physically do that. Luckily for you, the listener, there's another one coming. It's the In the Hunt cast. We're in the hunt for a Super Bowl after a playoff win. Sean Murphy, Kyle Turner, and myself, Greg Bauk, doing our disgusting, stupid thing. And what the fuck, would one of you talk? I don't even know what to say.
You kept talking.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry.
Let's get right into it. Greg, drink the IPA.
So I went on Twitter and I was really nervous, and I thought, God hates me and I'm a piece of shit. How can I make it so the Bills win? And I don't famously like IPAs. Famously, dozens of people know I hate IPAs on the Twitter, and I really do. It tastes like fucking, I don't know, acid rainwater.
I've described it, and I think you'll agree here. I think it tastes like a mouthful of pennies.
That's perfect.
That's how I think I described it, a mouthful of pennies.
That's perfect. So I said I would drink one.
I, of course, think all beer is gross. And, just drink some nice water. What about some juice? They make great juice these days.
Yeah, but water
water
doesn't make you have fun.
No.
You know what I mean?
That was my yearbook quote.
That's what you said until you met me, and you're like, boy, am I wrong.
I've had a bunch of water in one sitting before, and it led to no fun.
Oh, it's all the peeing without the fun.
Yeah.
What good is that? So I said,
I can't believe they turned down that marketing slogan.
all the peeing without the fun. The Bills, it was a tenuous game with the Indianapolis Colts. When it was tenuous in the fourth quarter, I tweeted that if the Bills won, I would drink an IPA, which is a dumb thing to do. I didn't think anyone would really pay attention anyways. Turns out people really want me to drink an IPA. Dozens of people, like I said. I have this in the back of my fridge. This is probably 2 years old. It is probably not the most famous one. It's like a Sam Adams product, I believe. I don't know. But it's a New Belgium accumulation, and it says White Indian Pale Ale. I think that means IPA, Kyle.
Yeah. If I don't know anything about IPAs other than they taste like pennies. Mm-hmm. And I think IPA stands for Indian Pale Ale.
I think so, but I might not be right. So anyways, if I'm not right, I'll drink a different one.
They're both gross. We can admit that.
Yes, they are. And I haven't drank this yet, so I don't know. This is in my fridge because someone came
Stop
over.
Stalling.
Okay.
Wait, real fast. What is the what's the picture on there, Greg?
Oh, is he glorping during the best part?
Oh, it's like a cabin or something.
Okay. Craft beers do have the best artwork.
This isn't a craft beer. This is a mass-produced.
It says Indian Pale Ale. That's craft.
It's an IPA. Okay, so let's give it a try. No one listening to the podcast cares what's going on, but it's like 2 years old, so I'll drink. This is to the Bills' victory. Honest to God, the fucking smell before you even get it in your mouth. It's so fucking disgusting.
Is it a IPA? Does it taste the same?
It tastes like shredded up dandelions. It's fucking disgusting. Oh, I hate this. I cannot wait to eat a piece of bread. This is so disgusting.
Yeah.
So.
Well, one time I chewed on a leather belt, and I imagine it's the same thing, but a leather belt that also my dad wore while sweating profusely. That would be the IPA.
Yeah, it's like getting punched in the mouth and tasting your own blood, and you've recently eaten a lot of iron.
They spend the weekends doing weird things at the Turner household.
All the fun of getting punched in the mouth, but not the taste.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's talk about this game as Greg's going to finish the beer throughout this podcast. What a game. They did it.
Yeah.
They won.
Let me say, I'm glad we're recording 2 hours after the game ended because I think it's going to be a different podcast right now.
Mm-hmm.
If we recorded immediately after the game, I would have been like, let the Colts win. Let them put them in. The Bills don't deserve it because that's me. That's how I think. I go, it wasn't great. But
I
now
think
2 hours later, I go, fuck it. It's a new week.
we're new to winning, and you don't always decimate opponents. You know, you win.
Yeah.
A lot of teams win games. Like the Chiefs have won games like this for the past 10 weeks.
Yeah. And especially in the playoffs.
Yeah.
You forget all these teams in the AFC anyways are good.
Yeah.
It's not.
Colts
it's
won 11
not
games.
bad.
They won
They're
11
good.
games.
They're
yeah.
a good team.
I think that the Colts played the absolute best possible game they could have played.
Yep.
Like they scored
Yeah.
in the first. The field position battle was terrible. When the Bills are on their 3 or inside their own 10, they can't do what they normally do. Like you have to play that a different way. And that's all the Bills had in the first half. And yet there was a point in the fourth quarter when it was like 8 minutes left. And I was like, it feels like the Colts have scored 8 touchdowns and they only have 10 points.
Yeah.
Like this game felt so much worse than it actually was
Yeah.
throughout. And
And
that's because I'm a Bills fan.
You know, the Colts had some big drops, but also we did too. Diggs had a drop. John Brown had a drop.
John Brown had a big drop.
Yeah.
That was like a difference maker.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Philip Rivers, watching him throw the ball, it reminded me, and I almost don't want to disrespect Philip Rivers like this because obviously he's had an amazing career. But watching
Kyle
him
doesn't want to disrespect
Doesn't
someone.
want to.
well, he's got a lot of kids, and they can come after me from all sides. 9 different sides they can attack me from. Watching him throw the ball today reminded me of watching Blake Bortles. The ball came off his hands, and I go, this ball is floating. It has no zip, and it's going to be picked. And then it just ends up in his receiver's hands, like the Blake Bortles playoff run from a few years ago. Not, current Blake Bortles is probably doing coke somewhere, but
I hope.
Well, he should be playing right now as we're talking. He should be playing quarterback.
he's inactive.
but he's inactive.
Yeah.
and they're
because he's doing
thumb,
coke.
One thumb. Jared Goff is playing over him.
But
No,
yeah,
they have
it was
Wolford
one
in
of
there,
those
don't
where
they?
it was
Wolford
not
got hurt.
Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was not him throwing the ball. Like I said, even in last week's preview, it looked like it hurt. All of his passes looked like they should be picked off, but man, a lot of them just went right to where they should.
Yeah.
Philip Rivers throwing the football. It looks like videos of like dogs that have learned how to bounce a balloon on their nose, and like they keep it up in the air like that. Like the dog runs and pops it up, and then the balloon's up, and it slowly comes down, and then the dogs pop it back up, and it slowly comes down. That's a terrible metaphor.
Yeah.
We've never won a playoff game. I don't know what to say.
Also though, fun fact, that dog also one of Philip Rivers' kids.
It's amazing.
They added in a dog.
It's amazing.
That's Gunner, actually.
I want to talk about. I could picture Kyle losing his mind on this.
All day.
Which I think Dable has had a great year. I think he mostly called a good game, but there was twice when we punted after running it 3 times. We ran it 3 times, didn't get the first down, punted it. That happened twice. That should not happen. Let Josh Allen throw the ball.
Let's get into a little bit. For a while, we had a little complaint corner going on, but then the team was destroying other teams, so we didn't really have the complaint corner. But here's my biggest complaint of the game. Before the 2-minute warning for halftime, the Bills had 9 pass attempts total. 5 came on 1 touchdown, the first touchdown drive.
Mm-hmm.
That means they had 3 drives before the 2-minute warning at halftime where they had 4 pass attempts. Josh Allen is one of the best quarterbacks in the league this year. And in 3 drives, you gave him 4 pass attempts.
They had that first drive was inside like the 3-yard line though. Maybe the first drive was it the second drive? Like they did not have anything scripted. Like nothing felt good for them in this game, and they still won. Like that fucking fumble at the end of the game, the Pascal fumble. It was a fucking fumble. Like this was a perfect Buffalo moment. We don't get the fumble. The Colts kick the field goal. We lose in overtime. It's happened so many times. I was ready to call my parents and tell them goodbye because I was gonna fucking throw myself off of Niagara Falls because that happens every year, and it didn't happen.
Well, I would like to. Can I, Kyle? Is that the end of your point? Because I'd like to bring up the fumble that wasn't a fumble.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
This fucking beer is terrible, by the way.
I am so glad extra glad we won because, man, we would have been hearing about that play for the next 5 years. Like that would be, I mean, it too. That would be all over the news. There'd be, like the diagrams, because it was a bad call. It was a fumble.
There'd be a new rule in the NFL where you can review reviews on reviews or something
Yeah.
stupid like that.
Yep.
And it's insane that McDermott had to call a timeout, that the refs didn't stop it to watch it. They stopped on I believe it was the 2-minute warning touchdown drive.
Yep.
They stopped the play 2 times in a row.
Yep.
They held the game up 25 fucking minutes for 2 catches. They can't review a fumble at the end of a playoff game. Like, in what world does that even fucking make sense?
Yep.
It's insane. In what world do they do that to the Bills and not review it? And then the Bills call a timeout and then they review it and then decide it's not a fumble, even though it was, but then give the Bills back a timeout. Like, what the fuck happened there? Like, where was the decision tree? Like, all of that was wrong. There were so many things wrong with that play, and it somehow worked out. That timeout was instrumental because if the Bills didn't have it, Indy probably would have. That really killed the drive when McDermott very smartly used a timeout at one point during that drive.
This ref, I believe refs have an impossible job.
Yeah.
But
that's like me on this podcast.
It's tough. We do talk about white shit for a long time last week. But this ref, I knew this guy was going to be a little fucking fluky from the beginning of the game when he was calling penalties. And he was like saying it backwards. Like normal refs are like holding offense number 65. This guy was like offensive tackle 17, 5-yard penalty, holding on that team. And you're like, wait, you're saying it weird. And he said it weird like twice. And I go, this guy's going to fuck somebody up. He almost did.
I love the mentality. Perfect. So go ahead.
Okay, I was gonna talk boner play of the game,
and that's what I was ready for.
Okay, because mine is the Darrell Williams recovering that fumble.
Yes, that's big. That wasn't mine, but that's a big thing.
Because that is, as we know, the Billsiest way to Bills that game.
That was like if you are old and almost dead like me, in Super Bowl 25 against the Giants, the Bills sacked Hostetler in the end zone for a safety. And the ball, Bruce came in and killed him and knocked it loose. And Bruce almost like recovered a fumble for a touchdown, but it went out the back of the end zone, so it ended up being a safety. Like, and it's such a stupid difference in between the Bills getting a touchdown there and a safety and what would obviously have been the difference of the game. That's how I felt about that Darren Williams recovery, because like he reached for it and pulled it in, but it was so iffy. Like that at any moment could have gone either way.
And a thing that started to creep into my mind around that play, especially in the fourth quarter, that was like, if the Bills lose this game, the entire narrative of everything changes. All of a sudden McDermott is 0-3 in the playoffs. Josh Allen has another like big fumbly choke moment in the just everything's different,
Yeah.
I didn't want to say anything ahead of time, but I was waiting for him to have a fumble in this game. I didn't say it to anyone. I didn't tweet it. I didn't mention it. I didn't tell my wife, who I tell everything. She knows about the hemorrhoids. She knows about everything, but I did not tell her I knew Josh Allen was going to have a fumble in this game.
You told her about my hemorrhoids or your hemorrhoids?
No, mine. I didn't know you had hemorrhoids.
Well, let her know about mine just in case.
Okay, she got it. She's not upset. She's here to help.
Okay. I was going back and forth boner play. Easy one would be the Diggs touchdown.
Speaking of hemorrhoids, here's my boner play.
But I'm gonna go last play of the game, the knocked down Hail Mary, because that might be the first unsuccessful Hail Mary against the Bills this season. So you got to take that one. I think they knocked it down. Jordan Poyer, I think he jumped 12 feet and literally was able to come down at the ball with a fist.
He did a matrix
as hard as he could.
He was in the air and kind of looked around to find out where the snack bar was, and then came down and knocked. Like he was hovering in the air on a jetpack. That was, you know what? Everything leads to like you learn. It's a learning moment. Like they had 2 failed Hail Marys that I can remember. Was it 3 or 2? I don't even know. I know of the 2, but you are definitely fucking getting this one right. Like you don't. That was not happening.
And to be honest, I don't. Again, going back to Phillip Rivers throwing, I don't think he made it to the end zone.
He didn't. Yep.
No.
And that kind of sucked. That's a 50-yard pass. I mean, like, again, I can throw like a 35-yard bomb. I think that's a lot. A starting quarterback should be able to throw a 50-yard pass. And if he can't, you better be looking,
A runner-up boner play of the game was that long Bass field goal, especially to see him celebrate. Like he was celebrating, like he was showing his pecs off to Kyle. Like I could beat the shit out of you. You remember that? You remember it?
He was like, I'm going to get Dippin' Dots. That's how excited he was.
Speaking of Bass, tweet of the game. I got one.
I have my boner after this, but go ahead.
Okay.
Oh, I'll put your boner away. Tuck it in your belt there.
Oh Lord.
Hey Greg, is that a boner or is that an IPA in your pants?
Yeah. If it was, it'd be sad.
All right. I picked 2 because it's a playoff game. And I think the Bills deserve 2.
Okay.
So this first one is Chris J. Marcy.
Jesus
I don't know.
Learn their names.
Macri. It's at Chris James Macery. Who cares?
Learn
Anyways,
to read.
his tweet was super early on in the game. This is 150. He said, if the Bills put up 50, I'll get a tattoo of a standing buffalo on my ass cheek. You heard it here first. 2 things. One, hey, stop trying to rip that other guy's stuff from last week. The KC fan that the Bills retweeted. That's his thing. But also, it sounds like you just want to get a standing buffalo tattoo on your ass cheek. Just go get it.
Yeah, right.
I got one after a JP Lossman went on my calf, and the Buffalo Bill symbol is backwards.
Whoa.
Just get it if you want it.
Wait,
Okay.
this is all true?
Yeah, I have a Bills tattoo on my calf. It's not like massive to take up my whole calf, but it's there.
Can I tell you something about this tweet of the game?
Yeah,
He has since deleted it.
Oh, I got his ass.
He
Literally.
did say his other tweet, which I can't believe wasn't your tweet of the game, which he retweeted like 15 minutes after tweeting it, was Josh Allen can fuck my wife. So no to the
Damn.
tattoo, but doubling up on the Josh Allen
Maybe
can fuck
this
my
is the
wife.
same guy from like last year who tweeted out Josh Allen could spit in my mouth, and then we all discussed if we would let Josh Allen spit in our mouth.
Josh Allen could spit in my mouth.
That's why
We're in a pandemic. The stakes have changed. So,
If
you know
your
why I
other-
wouldn't mind if Josh Allen spit in my mouth? Because I'm drinking a fucking IPA and it's disgusting. And
it would
his
help
spit,
it clear it up. It's a
his
palate
spit would
cleanser.
help cleanse this disgusting shit.
The other
Can I
one
talk? Can I
is
do the? Oh, you have another tweet.
another one. This is the tweet of the game. That other one, I just want to let that guy know. Get it. Just get it. Who cares? You want it, you get it. Okay. Pandemic, you could die any day here. This one is Corey Pomeroy. Wait, Pomeroy. That's what it is. Pomeroy. It's at CD Pomeroy. Okay. He said it starts with a asterisk, deletes early season tweets about Tyler Bass. Then he says, always believed in you, Tyler. Hashtag Bills Mafia. And with that, I will say I can still absolutely beat up Tyler Bass, but I would let him beat me up. I would let him beat me up. And I would even put a little bit of I'd fight back a little bit to make him think I actually tried, and he would win the fight. I'd let him win.
Well, this sounds pretty close to eating crow. Kyle? Are you
Where?
eating crow?
Ain't no birds in my apartment building.
Yeah. What temp you roasting that crow at,
if you
Turner?
listen back, that first game he missed 17 field goals or something insane. I never hated him. I said give this kid some time. I never hated Tyler Bass. I just said I could beat him up.
That can't be right. There's no way you said give some kid a chance. Like you would go to like a grammar school track meet and make fun of the kid that came in second. There's no way you ever would give anyone a chance.
I agree with Greg. Well, Greg, what's your boner play of the game?
Okay, so it's a prominent play in the game, and it was the first touchdown the Bills scored, the touchdown pass to Dawson Knox. And the reason, like, I don't know how many people thought about this. I don't know if this is a popular explanation of it, though. Josh Allen was running it and then was kind of like, oh, fuck this, I'm going to throw it in the. I don't think that was ever going to be a run. I think it was an awkward route about it, but I think he always had intention of passing it and sold the run that well. So I thought that was really neat. I don't think he ever intended to run it. And I thought that was a good play on for a red zone offense. How do you stop that? Like if you're a defense and you think Josh Allen is going to run it, you got to sell to beat that run. And if he changes up and throws it at one point, like there's no way to stop that, I think. So I like that.
I'm a big fan of that, not that like in particular play, but that style of play with the two pulling guards and they run the Allen or they run Allen. I don't like it at midfield. Daboll ran that a few times and has done it like midfield. And I'm like, that's not the play. If you want to run Allen, do the 5 wide, hike it, spread it, and then run it up the gut. Don't do this at midfield, man. Yeah, it just doesn't make any sense. Whatever though. What are you gonna do?
Well, I
have confidence, Kyle. You made a good
I yell it. I realized he can't hear me. So
I have heard some rumors that some of these coaching these NFL teams with coaching openings are calling Kyle to check his availability. So
I played Madden. How much Moss going down?
They're hugely attracted to the fact that you were the team's backup punter. Like they're like, oh, this guy knows all sides of the ball. He was the backup punter.
Moss going down sucks, but as long as it's not Allen or Diggs, I think it's recoverable. I don't think the team misses a step, but it sucks. Moss is good. He was our lead back. He took over Singletary as the lead back. As far as running the ball, I don't know. Singletary might be on the field more pass plays, but it does suck him going down for sure.
Well,
but it's not a massive blow.
All aboard the Tywan Jones hype train.
Or
it's going to be TJ Yeldon.
Or Antonio Williams, who had an amazing game. Or sign Marshawn Lynch.
Lou.
Do you think that's okay? So do you think it's possible? Do you think that's at all possible?
No.
Really?
Marshawn Lynch is high out of his mind right now, as he should be.
Yeah.
It's not he's high. He's not going to pass a drug. He won't pass a drug test for the next 3 years, even if he stops smoking today.
Oh, they're not going to test. It's COVID. They'll test him for COVID, and then actually, I'm pretty sure weed negates COVID in some ways. But
that's not a bad thought. Is if the Bills were like, we're going to sign Marshawn Lynch, we need to have him drug tested as part of the signing process. The NFL would be like, nope, just sign him. Doesn't care because we want his name in the playoffs, baby.
Yeah. So if I'm
all fucking for it. They should sign Kyle Williams back, Lorenzo Alexander back, fucking sign Pat Williams back, his fat ass. You know what I mean? Ruben Brown, get him in there. Get everyone that won nothing back in here.
Sign Eric Wood before.
I guess Eric Wood would probably
be in shape. Ruben Brown's like, whatever. Like if you didn't play all year and you got high all the time, that would affect you for a couple of games. But for one game, the adrenaline alone, I think he'd be fine. So why not bring back Marshawn?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm all for it.
Okay, good. As long as you're on board.
One more thing about the game I want to bring up. I feel like a lot of people online and the announcers were going hard against Frank Reich's aggressiveness, and I thought it was fine. I mean, I like when coaches play football like that. In fact, I think he should have been more aggressive, like when he punted it early on in the first quarter.
He lost that team the game.
Yeah.
That first quarter, punting twice from their own side of the field, like that, that's on them. And then he lost the game.
He could maybe possibly overcompensated the rest of the game, but it's like, I like that. You go, like you're playing the Bills who you normally put up a lot of points. Be aggressive. Go for all that stuff.
Aggressive.
I mean, you're on the 1 yard line when they go for that 2-point conversion. You're on the 1 yard line. You have one of the best offensive lines in football. You should be able to get a yard.
Yeah, I agree. Plus, it's just better football. It's just, as a fan and as a coach, as Sean said, be aggressive, be aggressive.
Exactly.
Did I tell you how fucking disgusting this beer is? Like, honest to God, like, why? Like, what the fuck? Like, why would you? I know beer doesn't taste great. You eventually get used to it and you just need the alcohol. But the level at which this beer sucks is just disgusting. I'm sorry. I won't
IPAs
dwell on
are
it.
made strictly for guys with mustaches and who wear beanies in the summer. And they ride their bike to the bar.
See, I'm not judgy. I get that I have a different palate that I don't like it. I don't care that other people drink it. I think it's fine. I think it's great because it leaves more dark gravy beers for me. But like, I just don't understand how your chemical makeup can make this a refreshing drink.
Yeah, maybe it's like that cilantro thing, or like blue cheese.
Yeah.
No, so what's it? Cilantro, or like some
Cilantro to
people it tastes
25%
like
of people,
shit.
it tastes like soap.
Maybe we're just part of that 25% that's smarter than the other 75%.
I know when I eat asparagus and I piss, it smells weird. So like I'm
I
part of
think
that
that's
percent.
everybody, Greg.
No, it's like that's not everyone. That's not
No,
everyone.
are you
Yeah.
kidding me? That's everybody.
Sean, you can finally be in on a conversation because you eat asparagus. Do you eat asparagus?
Yeah, but I can't remember my pee smell with it. But maybe that means it
If
isn't.
I have even one stalk of asparagus, my pee melts the toilet. I have to
Yeah.
get a new toilet every time I eat asparagus because it melts into liquid.
I can burn Sauron's ring with my pee if I eat asparagus. That's how hot it is. Well, here's a promise to our listeners. If the Bills win the next game on the podcast, Sean will eat asparagus and then piss in a cup and smell it.
I mean,
And
that's only
drink it.
fair.
You got to drink it a little bit too. It'll taste like an IPA.
Sean's like, well, I'm doing it anyway, so we might as well put it.
Sean's like, oh no, that's what I have to do. I'll put. I already have it here.
On my to-do list already.
Who would want to hear X and O's? Like, honest to God, why would you tune into a podcast to hear why a pulled tackle made a difference? Fuck that. We want to hear about what Sean's pee.
That's true.
Well, before we go to the question game,
Yes.
All right, is that where you're going to go, Sean?
Yeah.
We don't plan our podcast out. Final thoughts? That's probably what you were going to do, Sean. But I know where you want to move this along. But final thoughts for me on the game. It was a rough game plan, and you can't have that in the next round. It was a rough game plan in the first 28 minutes of the game. Fucking throw it. Josh Allen's the guy. You didn't get to this game you didn't get to 13-3 in the playoffs running the fucking ball. You're on in the league. Any team, do it all game. Throw it all game.
Yeah.
I agree.
And I never thought I would say it in my life.
Yeah.
Old 2 yards in a cloud of dirt, Kyle.
And I can't believe that, Kyle's saying a thing and we're all agreeing with it. This is truly times have changed.
This could just be the last podcast ever.
Well, I will tell you what, like I was going to make that like statement right now. Like we're about to do the question game. We'll preview who the Bills are playing after this. We don't know at this point of recording who they're playing. If they lose next week, I'm not fucking doing a podcast. So you guys can.
Fans demand it.
I don't give a shit.
Playoff win, Greg.
Do the fans have guns? Because if they're just demanding it, I don't give a shit. If they're demanding it with guns, I'll consider it. But
some of them were just in D.C. a couple days ago. So
oh, good. Welcome to the podcast, traitors.
I saw one of them at a sign first the Capitol building, next Bauk's house.
Yes, sweet. Come on in to steal my podium.
Before we get to the question game, we have the Steve campaign message of the game.
Steve, I don't think we talk enough about how much I love Steve and how he's my hero for actually being our number one Patreon.
True, our Joe B.
I was last week. I thought to myself, I go, this guy has our top tier Patreon. He gets his ad every week, and I felt bad because I was like, I don't feel like we talk enough about his ad. And then last week we talked about shit for 20 minutes.
And not his ad. No.
Well, this is a good one because I feel like it ties into his last one,
the diarrhea.
Shit,
yeah,
but it elevates it, and you'll see what I'm saying here. He'd like to promote pets of older persons, or poops, which is a not-for-profit organization run entirely by volunteers that provides free pet care services for elderly or disabled pet owners.
Ooh, what's
So
the
you pick up
age
the
on that?
poop.
No.
That's the age.
Is it like 65 and above? Do you qualify? Or do you got to have a cane or some shit?
I would. My guess is it's. I don't think they go. I want Kyle to handle everything in the world because I love Kyle handling this not for profit and going. Oh yeah, I'm an older person. I'd like a dog. So do you got like a cane or some shit? No. Well, I don't know. Call me back when you got a cane.
You mean you can walk on your own 2 feet? Well then, walk the dog, bitch.
And I ain't talking about a yo-yo.
So so he said go to poopswa.org for more information.
Yeah.
Greg, this seems right up your alley. You love dogs.
Oh, no wonder I couldn't get this domain. Poopswa.org?
Yes.
Okay, he's a piece of shit. This site can't be reached. We've been punked.
No, wait.
by
Hold on,
Steve
let's try
is-
this again. Poopswa.org.au.
Oh, .au. What the
Hey,
fuck
you,
is
what
that?
is this, Australia?
Isn't that the periodic table for gold? Oh, it worked. We're there. Good.
Okay.
What
Welcome to
country is
Poops.
this, Greg?
Welcome to Poops, Pets of Older Persons. It's in English, so I don't know what country it's from. So
Is it Old
It
English
must be
or New English?
Australia. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
Australia.
they've supported over 300 clients. I don't know where about us. I'll see where it's from. So what does he want us to do? What the fuck? I don't want a mission. I don't even want to do
No,
the
he's just-
podcast.
He's just promoting Poops, and then if you want to go there, you could donate some money for get
There,
some
Here's
there
a
should-
sentence. From Yacheb to Mandurah, the central suburbs, the hills, Armadale to Serpentine, and our newest region, Bustleton, which opened in 2009. I have no fucking idea where this is.
This is a Lord of the Rings game.
Yeah. This guy could have got the word out on a missing child or someone who needed a kidney. Steve, you could have fucking actually helped someone. I don't know how our listenership is in this region of the country that I can't even identify
I
from the
think
website.
it's got to be
but-
Australia.
Okay, well, I'll keep trying to look. So I'll go to the contact
Okay,
page.
so this agency or nonprofit group or whatever, they help old people with dogs. There should be an agency that helps dogs with
With older
old
people.
owners. They come and walk the dog, and then the owner can just sit or something. I don't know what anything does.
It's still not clear. The phone number is 1-300-10092. I have no fucking idea what region it is. It's broken up in a real way, but thank you. We'll support Poops.
Yeah, you know what? If they get just one donation, I think it's worth it, Greg.
Yeah.
Hey, the
It ain't
Bills
gonna be
won.
from
They'll
us,
probably
though.
make $3 billion from Bills fans. So,
Can we
Andy
reach out to
Dalton's-
them for a new sponsor of the pod?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wegmans will donate all of their meals for a day to Poops.
Give your money to Poops. Thanks, Steve.
Okay, let's do a question game
Let's
because
go
I
to the
don't want to do a
question
podcast anymore.
Okay, shut up, Greg. Jesus Christ.
You gotta
On
do
the
one
line-
tomorrow at 11:30 at night.
On the line.
Not if I
today.
die. Not if I die. It's still possible.
There's still time. A jersey, and this will go great with your IPA, Greg. A jersey from Doug Marone.
Ooh.
Get a Doug Marone jersey. Doug Marone and Anthony Lynn fired.
I
this past
imagine
week.
Doug Marone's soul. I
Um,
imagine Doug Marone's soul tastes like an IPA.
yeah, that's probably right. A fun tweet I saw: every Bills coach from the drought is currently unemployed.
Nice, as they should be.
So, okay, here are the questions. We'll start with Greg because he has to drink that IPA. What number is higher, Greg? Sean McDermott career wins plus 10 or Doug Marone career wins plus Anthony Lynn career wins?
Oh. Marone thought for a while he was the shit, so he won some games for a couple of years. St. Doug. I'm going to go Lynn plus Marone.
Lynn plus Marone. What do you got, Kyle?
I need the question again.
Of course. McDermott career wins plus 10 or Doug Marone plus Anthony Lynn career wins.
Oh, it's got to be that Doug and A Train.
Yeah, and by quite a bit too, 71-48. So
Yeah.
Oh,
quite a
okay.
bit. Question.
Doug Marone's been a head coach since 2013.
Yeah. Well, Kyle, to you, question 2. What number is larger, the amount of Buffalo pizza places or Cole Beasley receiving yards this year?
That's a good
No.
question. I like this question.
But so in the Buffalo city like limits.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to be honest. It was tough to find this. I don't know what they defined Buffalo as. I will say the number is high. So it's not like it's
I know I'm screwing myself here, but I thought one time that I read Buffalo has the most pizza places per 1,000 people of any other city in the country. And I love pizza, so I'm going to go pizza. I still love Cole Beasley.
It's a lot, but
to his new rap, but
it's a lot, but it's not 1,000. I'm going to go Cole Beasley yards.
Greg, you are correct. There apparently are 600 Buffalo pizza places and 967 receiving yards this year by Cole Beasley. Drink up that IPA, Greg. You're in the driver's seat, but this is where you always blow it.
Robin's racing.
Question 3.
I have to go first.
You have to go first, and you're going first. Which one of these names did not play in today's game? Is it A, Earl Hindman?
When will I pay attention to the game to get this?
Never.
Earl Hindman.
Either A, Earl Hindman. B, Mo Alley Cox. C, Jordan Glasgow. Or D, EJ Speed.
Glasgow.
Going Glasgow. Kyle.
Speed.
You're both wrong. Those are both linebackers for the Colts. Greg, you win. Congratulations. The correct answer is Earl Hindman, of course, is the actor who played Wilson in Home Improvement. But well done to you, Greg. Congratulations.
I'm doing my best Wilson impression. I'm hiding half of my face.
I thought that was like a Navy folder. I was like, look at that. You're supporting me.
No, I would never do that. It's my wife's real estate company folder. So if you're looking for properties in the Western New York region near a pizza place.
All right, so we're gonna take a break. We're gonna come back for part 2 where we know who the Bills are playing and we talk about that game.
Do you have a preference?
Yes,
it's either Pittsburgh, obviously Tennessee, or Baltimore. Rank them. Who do you least want to face to most want to face?
Pitt, Tennessee, Balt. Most to least. Most. I want them to play Pittsburgh.
Yes, mine's the same.
I don't care if they play Tennessee, that's fine. And I don't want them to play Baltimore.
I think mine would be Pittsburgh, Baltimore, Tennessee. I think Ryan Tannehill's really good. And I think it would be a tough fucking game. So let's hope for Pittsburgh.
All right. Let's hope. And Bills win. We'll part 2 in 1 second. It's going to happen right now. All right. And we're back. No Greg. He is sick. He always has to get that emergency penis surgery that he has every couple times a year.
It's crazy. He got it in the 1 second that we stopped recording.
Yeah.
And this part started.
It is. But we know now the Bills are playing the Ravens in a scary but sexy game. Kyle.
Oh, yeah. TV. If I wasn't a fan of one of the teams, I'd be like, this is exactly what I want.
Yeah.
What a perfect. Watching the rest of the games this weekend made me feel better about the Bills game. I felt like with the Bills game, I legitimately watched 2 good teams because this piece of shit Browns game we just watched. The Steelers were terrible and the Browns wanted to lose.
I hate to pat myself on the back, but I've been saying it all year. The Steelers are terrible, and I was just 6 months too early to the game.
The Saints game was horrendous. The Rams Seahawks game sucked. Yeah, it was kind of fun because Jared Goff had to come in.
Right.
But other than that, Seahawks were not good the entire game. Tennessee Baltimore was fine, but I mean, it wasn't a good game.
Watching that game, and I believe I texted this to you and some other people, I was like, bring on either of these teams.
I'm okay with
Yeah.
it. I mean, Ravens are the team that scared me the most, but I'm not overly scared by them. We could
Yeah.
lose, but I go back to the time we played them. I think it was last year where we lost a close game when our offense was awful, and now our offense is very good, and their defense is relatively similar. So that makes me optimistic, especially there's a little snow I saw in the forecast, which is gonna, slows down fast people. And I hate to be an expert here, but I think that could work in
we
our
definitely, when it comes to speed, you and I are not experts. I don't actually know what fast people feel when they run.
But I've played sports in the snow, and let me tell you, it's better to be a big guy running through that snow than it is to be me. So
Baltimore ranks 6th against the pass and 8th against the run, obviously 7th overall. So really good defense, better than the Colts. Their offense, like I said, I've watched a few Baltimore games this year because Lamar is fun to watch.
Yep.
But they don't, as my untrained eyes here, they don't seem very consistent offense. They seem like if Lamar can't run, the offense is just stagnant. There is no backup plan if Lamar can't get on the edge. Unfortunately, I don't know if our guys can contain. Jerry Hughes has that hot head where after, like, he contains for like 5 plays, and that 6th play, he's like, I'm just going to run in as fast as I possibly can.
Well,
and then Addison's 37 years old. So
my biggest scare of this team in the playoffs is the run defense. But that being said, we've had good games against the run. Like, we kind of shut down Josh Jacobs. I think even Derrick Henry, granted they crushed us, but I don't think he had a ton of yards in that game from my memory.
Yeah, well, that was technically in the, what's it called, the Colts game. Like, Taylor had 21 rushes for 76 yards, and Hines ended up with 6 rushes for 71 yards. But that was like all in the 4th quarter, and it's a brain lapse. Tremaine Edmonds thought the game was over. He wasn't looking at the clock. He was like, I'm done. Can we get off?
Yeah, he was thinking about beating you up after all the things you said about him. And he was like, he's daydreaming about knocking you out. I get it.
But the Ravens is a surprise. But like I mentioned 5 minutes ago on the podcast, they were out of the 3 teams the Bills could have faced, the Ravens were my middle team. The Titans scared me because I think Tannehill is better than Lamar, even though I guess today didn't prove that, but I thought he was better and had better weapons. What the Ravens have Dobbins and Lamar, and that's it. There is nothing else. They have Brown, but whatever. And then they have Boykin. Who gives a shit? You know what I mean? Like that. Mark Andrews. I guess that guy's
I love
good.
the idea.
I guess I was wrong in that whole thing. I was wrong.
But I also love the idea of you being a coach of like, listen, guys, we got Boykins coming in. Who gives a shit about him? We got this guy. He kind of sucks. Fuck him.
Yeah, I don't know. It's going to be a fun matchup. I'm kind of glad the Steelers didn't move on, because they don't deserve shit.
Yes.
They
Agreed.
stink. They fucking suck. And their fans are the 3rd worst fans in the league.
And their empire is crumbling. And I love when a good franchise crumbles. Like, as someone who's been a bad franchise for a while, and you see those people like enjoying themselves for like 2 decades, it's kind of fun to picture, hopefully, like a 6-10 Pittsburgh Steelers playing a 6-10 New England Patriots next year. Like, I want to watch that game for the rest of my life. That makes me happy.
With a 6-10 Cowboys team on the sideline, also kind of watching.
Yes, that's my dream.
Well, before we pick the Ravens game here, I have a key to the game.
Okay, this is big.
This is huge.
This is the first time we've played in a game like this in decades. We need this key to the game.
Yeah. And this is very doable.
Okay.
Okay. You get, this is going to start like you're going to go, okay, well, we can't say that on the podcast, but hear me out.
All right.
You get a bunch of kids all around 5 years old, right? Old enough where they can talk, but not smart. You know what I mean? And, you put them all in masks, and you say before the game, you go to Lamar and you go, "Hey Lamar, there's a group of kids from the Make-A-Wish program, but they're not.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this is where I don't want you to get mad at me. I don't want Greg's not here, but I don't want him to get mad. He's probably not listening at this far in.
Okay.
But they're not. I just want to be clear. They're not actually from the Make-A-Wish. You just lie to Lamar Jackson, say they're from Make-A-Wish.
Okay.
And you go, could you like get some pictures and sign some stuff for him? And he goes, of course. Lamar Jackson's a good guy, right? He's like, yeah, of course. And every one of the kids goes, you're my favorite running back. And he's like, what the fuck? And they're like, yeah, you're the best running back in the world. And he's just so distraught that he can't even play that game.
Oh, I was even going one step beyond. Maybe he's so distraught that he's like, I got to pass it 45 times this game.
Ooh, good one. Yeah, that could also be an outcome.
Which
he's like, I'm going to show these Make-A-Wish kids that they're wrong.
Because that would be the game plan, is shutting down the run and making Lamar Jackson throw it all over the field. I can't. But you can't, man. It's so tough. You can't shut them down. The defense is not as good as it was last year, and we all know that. That's not, you know what I mean. It's whatever. But you said, the game plan last year, it held them to like 45 yards rushing, but the defense is not as good. That's true. But the offense is way better. So
yeah.
It makes me optimistic, especially because as we said, the defense can get lucky / have the right game plan on the right day that they stuff them a little bit.
Yeah, I agree.
So
I don't know if it's going to happen though, because I don't know if they're going to rent those kids from the party school.
This is a tough game. I could see it going either way. I don't even know if the line came out yet. My bet would be it's like probably pretty close to a push.
I think I saw, I think the Ravens were getting 2 points.
Okay.
But I also just read shit on Twitter and regurgitate it.
Right.
Could be wrong.
So I'm going to, keep the optimism flowing. I think the Bills win 38-35. But
it's a high scoring game in the snow, man.
I know. That's true. It depends on how bad the snow is, but I think we could do it, but I also wouldn't be surprised if we lose. But I mean, if we do this, what a run this would be, because next would presumably be the Chiefs.
Yeah. We also presumably thought this would be the Steelers.
I guess that's true. I kind of secretly knew.
No, the Browns wanted to lose that game that we just watched. They wanted to.
The Steelers lost. They didn't even have a coach.
They had Alex Van Pelt calling plays. That guy learned under Todd Collins. You can't replicate that kind of knowledge.
Give me your prediction.
This is tough. I think Lamar is going to be lightning out there. I think I don't think our defensive ends are going to contain him enough all game. I think he gets out on the edge. I think it's like 30-20 Baltimore. Yeah. And it hurts to say.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. It's exciting to have another week of football to look forward to. And
yes. And I've if we lost in the wildcard round, I would have been devastated.
Mm-hmm.
If the Bills lose in the divisional round, I'm going to be upset, but not devastated. Yep. And I can deal with an upset.
Yeah.
Especially that it's against Baltimore, who is a good team.
Yep.
So it's like one step. It's one step. And if we lost in the championship game, I would not be upset at all.
Yep.
I'd be happy to even be there.
I
want to bring up before we sign off that we saw that video of the fans fighting in the stands. I wanted to bring that up to voice our opinion that if you are one of the 6,700 fans that got to see that game and you were the however many guys were fighting there, I hope a tractor trailer castrates you and all of your future kids are born and then die. I don't care. You don't have to cut that out. Those people should be dead, or at least be able to be punched in the face by all the fans that didn't fight.
Well, they're trash people for a number of reasons. One is screwing it up for other fans, and also two, just the what it does to sports fans. You've been with a lady for a while now, but it's always rough going on, like, you know, you're a guy, you're going on a date with a lady in New York. At some point, you got to be like, I really like football. And like, that's like like, because they probably see these things of like these goddamn idiots punching each other. And you got to be like, no, I like it, but like, I'm not a lunatic.
Yeah.
And like, I mean, because if you're a Bills fan and you're meeting new people out there, just you're trying to sell them on being a Bills fan. You don't want this out there.
I've you know, on Twitter and stuff, I'm mostly, obviously I follow Bills fans. I see a lot of Bills Twitter, especially on the In the Hunt Twitter account. You know, it's all Bills Twitter, as you say, or as, you know, everyone would call it. And I gotta say, a lot of Bills fans make me want to root against the Bills.
Yeah, just be.
And I'm sure it's the same with every other team, but watching those idiots fight in the stands. I almost said words that had to be edited out there. Watching those idiots fight in the stands I want the Bills to lose because of them. Because of those idiots. And I hope they're dead somewhere. I hope they're dead in a pond. I hope they went home to go pond fishing and they fell in and died.
And this is, as listeners know, one of the most negative people in the world. Kyle's saying this.
Yeah.
So imagine how above and beyond you have to be.
I'm so furious, and I've tried really hard during this little rant to not say more worse things. If you can believe that. I've that's why I'm kind of talking in like periods. I'm like stopping to be like, don't say that word, take it out, put in another word. But it's just one of those where you're like, dude, this is the best team we've ever watched. Possibly ever watched. I didn't watch the 90s teams, but it's the best team we possibly ever watched. You get a golden fucking Willy Wonka ticket and you fight, you fucking fat piece of shit idiot, have a heart attack.
And you fight, not that you should fight anyone, but you're fighting other Bills fans. It's not like there was like a Colts fan there was like, you suck and you're drunk. And I mean, you still shouldn't do that, but like, you're just fighting some guy was probably like, hey, you should have caught that. And you're like, fuck you. Just that, like, you're like, what are you doing?
Yeah. I also love right now that right before we started recording, Sean was like, let's make sure we kind of stay under 10 here. And now we're 15 minutes in because we got on something that really ticked us off.
That's true. Well,
anyways, I hope the Bills beat the Ravens because that would be super cool. I just hope ultimately it's a fun, good game. And it doesn't, I'm not riddled with anxiety for the last half an hour of the game that was the final 2 minutes of that game.
I also hope the Bills beat the Ravens because I think that would be super cool. So I think.
Oh, we got to make a prediction for Greg. So on the count of three, I'm gonna say what I think Greg would think the Bills are gonna get, and on the count of three, you say what you think Greg would say the Ravens will get.
You the Bills, and I say what the Ravens score. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Count of three. 1, 2, 3. 16.
12.
Okay. Greg thinks the Bills will win 16-12. Greg's always very amped for the very good games.
Okay. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you
we got a Patreon coming out in 4 days, people.
That's true. Follow us on the Patreon. We got good episodes, good Greg blogs. Follow us on Twitter, and most of our episodes are on YouTube. Subscribe and watch that shit. Thank you, everyone. Sweeto. See you next week.
One love.
The Bills won.